Now I'll just show you how to clean a fermentation bucket. The first thing you do is rinse it off with clean water, making sure to thoroughly wash all the surfaces inside the bucket. This step is important because it helps to remove any leftover residue or particles that might be stuck to the sides or bottom. Always remove the worst of it with water first, as this makes the rest of the cleaning process much easier and more effective. After rinsing, you always use a soap to remove all organic matter. And for that we use Trisani wash-ops, which is the soap. It's alkaline, so I always recommend using goggles and gloves. The instructions say 50 to 75 grams per 5 liters of solution, so you just weigh it out to get the right concentration. In this case, it was 50 grams. I make sure to close the container, and then I put the Trisani wash in the bucket. And then you simply use hot water, maximum 50 degrees. The bucket holds a total of 5 liters, and there's a clear, easy-to-read liter scale on the side of the bucket. On most of them, at least, so it's actually pretty easy to do. Otherwise, you can simply just weigh it. So that's 5 liters. And it's especially important when you're cleaning a plastic bucket to use a soft brush, so you don't damage the coating. And gently, no rough scrubbing or anything like that, just gently all over, edges, corners, bottom, so you remove all the organic matter. Just gently. Including the edges and everything, making sure to cover all areas. The more gentle and careful you are, the less it splashes. And of course the lid as well, and again, gentle movements. And the grommet. It's really important to get that washed properly. There we go, all right. Both inside and outside. Rinse it with hot water, because this soap here can actually leave a bit of a greasy, slippery film. Pour it out very carefully and slowly so you don't splash too much. And rinse with hot water. And it's important, especially when you're cleaning by hand, that you always know exactly where your hands are at all times. Because when you're cleaning, you really don't want your greasy fingers to end up inside the fermentation tank. Now that it has been thoroughly rinsed and cleaned, you can carefully insert the grommet into the opening. There we go. Next, you take your Trisani sand and start to acid clean it to remove deposits and bacteria. For that, you use 10 to 15 milliliters per 10 liters of water. But we're only making a 5-liter solution. There's no need to use more, so we only need 5 to 7 milliliters, so it's not very much. There we go. You don't need to use more than absolutely necessary. Cold tap water up to 5 liters. And you can see that it foams well, and that's especially important because the foam formation ensures that the acid has a long contact time. That means on the sides, on the bucket, and on the lid. So it just sits and works. Then you take the lid and put it on. Hold the grommet and shake it, and then you can see there's foam everywhere, and it stays there for quite a while. And then, about every 5 minutes, while you're patiently waiting for your wort to cool down, you just give it a shake. Again, just a quick shake. Shake, 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 shake. Just like that. Keep shaking. When you've cooled it down completely and you're about to carefully transfer the wort to the fermenter, make sure you do it gently and steadily. Up. Again. Now it's important to know where your hands are, so always only touch the edges. And a fermenting bucket, and many fermenters have handles, so use them. Pour this out. Rinse with cold water. And then, at this point, the fermenter is ready to be used. Have fun with your brewing process. One small but important thing to note about the airlock, now I haven't cleaned it yet, just so you know, but when you use an airlock like this, it's important that you only fill up this bend right here. And that's about 8 to 10 drops of water. Let me just show you how to do it. This here is actually a bit too much. As you can see, it's just the bend that's actually filled with water. And that's because when you lift the bucket, it creates a vacuum, and then this water will be sucked down into the fermenter. However, if you only put in these 10 drops, that simply will not happen, because there is not enough water to form the necessary seal.